Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Steve here, coming to you live from New York City, the mecca of MagFat paintball. Coming to you with a open mic night. We have a good show for you tonight. We have on the cast tonight, we have Alan. Alan, say hello. And we have Mark. Mark, now, Alan is a, what's the best way to describe? You know what? I'm
a software developer that makes tools for paintball teams and event producers.
There we go. And you are based out of what city and state?
I'm out of Houston, Texas. Our tech demos have dropped in Georgia and Pennsylvania over at Sherwood. We should be in New York and Florida and Arizona and Canada next year through some various other producers.
Cool. And Mark?
Yeah, so I'm a team co-captain and promoter for Lash's paintball field in Fort Johnson, New York. We're getting ready to run a tournament here shortly.
Paintball field in Fort Johnson, New York. Sorry about that. What kind of tournament are you going to start running in New York?
We're running just a basic 3v3 tournament. It's just point-based, 15-minute matches. It's October 2nd. Just old classic hyperball field. It's pretty nice, pretty large. Plenty of bunkers.
Is it going to be mech on the hyperball, or is it anything goes?
It's pretty much anything goes. We're just going to limit you to 10.5 BPS, just so we're not going crazy out there. We just want to keep it fun, get some new people on the field, and just have a fun day.
And so, how big is the field?
The field is actually pretty large. I'd say it's probably 250 feet wide by 300 and 350 feet long. We've got barreled bunkers, like I said, old style classic hyperball setup. There is a woods ball field as well. The gentleman Bert that owns the place, great guy. We're just trying to get some new people down there, get some people playing so that we have more people to play against. There's probably 30, 40 guys that show up every Sunday. They are open Sundays from 10 to 6 or pretty much 10 to whatever because we have lights on the hyperball field so we can play at night. It's just you can call us weekend warriors if you want, but it's nothing that we go crazy serious about. We're running this one's for amateurs, like I said, try and get some new blood out there and get to know people and have some fun.
Cool. And when you say weekend warrior, what you going only on the weekends or?
Yeah, I mean most of us will play either a Saturday or a Sunday and ref the off day, or it's a small group of guys that keeps it up and running. Gentleman named Tommy's always there, and he plays a lot of scenario games with the woods ball guys and stuff like that. But as far as the tournament goes, it's 3v3. You can have a sub if you'd like. It's a $150 entry fee. You can pay at the field if you choose to do so, or you can pay at Lash's Lunatics at gmail.com on PayPal. What else? Case of paint is going to be $50. There is food and beverages there for purchase. If you want to bring your own, you can as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it should just be a fun, laid-back day. First place payout is $600 as of right now. If we reach our team cap, it will be increased to $1,000 for first place. We're doing raffles. So every member of your team, when you sign up, every member gets a free raffle ticket for the giveaways and stuff.
What's the format for your tournament? Are we looking at brackets? Are you looking at single elimination, double elimination?
So what it is we're running 15-minute matches. So pretty much, it's going to be point based. So whoever scores the most points in 15 minutes is going to move on to the next round. It's going to be, after each match, single elimination. and move from there. I mean, if we have an odd number of teams, we'll probably play a wild card slot or something like that. But yeah, we're just trying to stick to the keep it simple, stupid format. For anybody that knows what KISS is.
Keep it simple, yes. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that expression a lot. And
If you're military, you should definitely know that expression.
that's what I said. I heard that a lot.
Right.
That and amongst other things there. We won't go. I won't go to the other ones I heard. And
Try and keep it easy.
yeah, I'm trying to keep it. Well, the thing is, like, if I were to go back into that whole jargon, because it's true what they say. Service members, we have our own jargon, we have our own way of speaking. So it's like, like back in the day, you had Pig Latin, and well, I forgot the other one. There were so
That's my
many.
biggest problem when I talk is just trying to keep it clean and so I got to think about all the words I say or else that's it. You'll be turning me off.
That's exactly with me. I'm in the same boat. Even now, day-to-day life, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, like I have to wait, no, I can't say this, because if I say this, they're not gonna understand what I'm trying to say, and it's gonna come out, so. But yeah, keep it simple. I like that one. I missed that one, actually. That's one of the ones I miss more than anything.
I mean, we're obviously running the tournament to get people to come down because it is a little ways out of the way when you have other fields that are around. But I mean, for the most part, we're trying to keep it relaxed and just have a fun, easy day, so that everybody can get to know us.
As an aside, do you have a jelly ball offering? If you're trying to bring in new people and grow your field, have you bought in jelly ball yet for the 3 to 10 crowd?
No, but we have started looking into 50 cal, which is what I think Bert is doing next. I did look at the jelly ball stuff, and
If you want to turn
I do
net
want to talk
profit,
about it.
it tankersly, it tanks paintball if you want jelly ball. It's the only thing for like a zombie hunt that he's ever turned a net profit on. It's good for the field.
Right. Yeah, I was looking at those setups. We just
Interesting.
started talking about doing a 50 cal probably a couple of weeks ago.
And your footprint for how big a jelly ball field is more like 30 feet by like 20 feet. They're so tiny. You can cram 3 or 4 of them in just a staging area if you wanted to.
Right.
See, now I'm the host, but I'm actually learning from you two, because
this is all I do. I look at fields as a business of entertainment.
I'm actually learning a lot now. I'm actually learning a lot now, because I'm trying, as I've ran events, and I've also played in events, and running events, I understand the business aspect of it. I have to, the profit versus cost, so forth and so forth, and then marketing and the oh, well, we got to use this, we have to use that, and then behind the scenes, as running the event, how many people are coming. So I've had the taste of both. So I understand what you're going through, Mark, and I definitely understand what you're saying, Alan. Which leads me into what I was going to ask you, Alan. You, tell me about. I'm intrigued. You said you're running. You're a system developer. Please,
right.
Tell me.
Okay, so I started in paintball 97, 98. I started reffing at my local field. It was the field that Viper Paintball began at. So that was where Wayne Dollick in Florida and Viper Paintball were kind of Wayne was first, Viper was second, and there were some other guys making 24-hour games. So I was hooked, and I was like 18 at the time. So by 2000 or 2001, I was already commanding 1,000-player games and scenarios, and I was already working as office staff. So I've only ever really seen paintball from the production side, and a lot less as a participant. But when you look at the problems that players have during their games, it's really common, simple customer service problems. Like, how can I get what is going on in the game to my customer so they know where to be at all times? And there's always going to be ref and other or some kind of infrastructure there so they can do what they need to do in the game and have their good time and consume paint. And there's always just a lot of roadblocks. There's clicks, there's radio breakdowns, there's commanders that go to bed. If your commander goes to bed and is not getting your mission, then 200 people are standing around with nothing to do. And I've had that happen on multiple occasions. So the only way to really fix it is to throw software at it. So come 2019, we went to Sherwood. We had a 400 player, 350 to 400 player game. We went 26 and a half hours. And every player in the game that wanted to get a mission just checked their phone. And it connected to a server, and it gave you all of your missions in real time. And then a lot of the missions were completed just by watching where their GPS tracks. We knew where they were at. So if you had to go take and hold something, we know you've been there for 20 minutes because the GPS shows you and your friend standing there for 20 minutes. And it just really automates a lot of the gameplay that you have to do in a scenario game.
I'm sorry, did you say 16 hours? Did I hear that correctly?
26.5.
Wow.
Our thing is, the way paintball games have gone, big games, when I started, you got at least 18 hours in 2 days. But now the modern trend is you're going to get about 10.5 hours in a 2-day experience. And a lot of customers are happy with that, but it's just not our player base's culture. Our player base wants to be on the field from 10 a.m. Saturday morning until 2 o'clock on Sunday or later. And they don't want breaks. They don't want dinners. They don't want festivals. They don't want parties. They just want to play scenario paintball in a hard-nosed way with people that really care about the game. And that's my customer base in a nutshell.
What about your night games? How do you run your night games? Because that seems the same way.
It doesn't even stop. It's the same missions. All of the captures, everything is done in real time through the phones. The players never get lost. They never have to find referees. They always know where their friends are at. It's the most convenient way to night play you can imagine. We had a person in Canada use our force tracking software, and nobody on his team even used it. He just used it to drop all the dots of the objectives onto the map. So he never got lost at night, and he had a 100% completion rate.
And
because he couldn't get lost.
And how does it work? I mean, is it
GPS on your phone?
Well, I mean, when we talk about the GPS, is it mirroring of the GPS similar to that of?
Well, we have two modes that the games run in. We have one mode that looks like Google Map.
Okay.
It looks like Google Map with like a lot of real-time strategy game dots dropped on it, and also dots for your people. If you hit the other button, it goes into third-person view, and it looks like exactly like Pokemon Go.
Okay.
And the reason we did that and we created the third-person view was for players that want to live stream, because paintball has a really hard problem being watched on TV. You can't really see what's going on. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't have you don't have any hard like football hits, even stuff where like two guys walking by each other in bad sportsmanship that was on the paintball standard or whatever, a guy stitching another guy. It doesn't play that well on camera. And so until you can have something that people can watch, you can't attract external advertisement. And that's the holy grail. That's why paintball would want to be in the Olympics, even though pros probably could not pass drug tests for the most part. That would be paintball's biggest challenge, pee and clean enough to field teams in the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's a party. Let's not pretend it's not.
It is what it is.
Once you give players the tools that they can live stream the experience that they're going through, they're going to grow their personal customer base. They're going to get revenue through streaming that can subsidize their play so they can play more, grow their base more, and attract more people to the hobby.
And how would they actually utilize it? Would they use it on their phone, on their attack pouch?
Most people take the phone, they put it on like a Threm Dark Vault that just clips onto their tack vest. It's a standard mall mount. People have run, there's been so many different solutions, it's hard to express them all. People are looking at 3D printing stock mounts for MagFed that they can just drop the phone into their stock and go. There's 3 or 4, probably 5 different phone holders for your chest rigs alone. There's some people on the back. I just run it in a fanny pack. I get my Disney fanny pack, which is my ultimate scenario weapon, and I just throw my phone in that with an extra battery, and I'm off and going.
Wow.
And then I'll send you some of the pictures after the podcast or tomorrow, some of like the GPS tracks we did at Texas Paintball. You can see me go through the entire game in real time.
I was just about to ask you for any pics that you might have that I can put up on the on the episode here.
I'm on my MacBook. As soon as I get back to my other PC, I'll send you some.
Okay, cool. And the same thing goes for you too, Mark. And anything that you got, pictures or anything that you have about the field or info posted that I can put up on the on the link, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely share the link with you for the tournament as well as some pictures of the field and stuff.
Cool. Now, back to you, Alan. I run a lot. I go to MagFed. I'm a MagFed player.
Now, our games have always been open. We run 10.5, FSR at 280, round ball at 280. Whatever you got, bring whatever you want. We don't have limits on drums or anything like that, but that's just how we roll.
That's what I was about to ask you.
I play hybrid with a 100-round hopper here in Texas. But our games are open. I'm looking at doing a first strike only game. We've been talking with, we kicked it with Fernando in January at the Night Stalkers game here at Texas Paintball. Fernando Rios with FSR. We're looking to do some FSR only games next year. That should be a lot of fun.
Well, that's posing a serious challenge. I mean, now that production has started, but harder. Yeah.
The logistics of it are now much harder than when we had started putting the concept to paper.
Yeah. Well, actually, we, about 2 episodes previously, we actually had a discussion. There was another, we have another player in the community, the Big Beast, Big Titan, over in California, Mr. Lang. And we had the episode, and we were able to verify that yes, First Strikes is actually in production again, because they had switched over from the civilian aspect and went back to the military and law enforcement aspect.
Yeah. That's why it's also really hard to get Metadynes. Most of their work is military.
Yeah. So now that things are beginning to, I guess, in their eyes, I'm not sure how, but in their eyes, normalizing.
Paint's going to get more expensive just in general because it has to be shipped by container, and containers have gone like 400% or 500% in some cases. There's an artificial shortage because the China National Shipping Company, Maersk Line, and another major shipping line have just taken all their containers and put them in holding yards to artificially raise the price. So we're all going to be hit with that inflation for a little bit on paintball until something happens on it.
The redheaded stepchild of the economy.
Yeah. Well, everything that has to be shipped, so. And we're all host.
Oh man, I listen. I when I started playing paintball the very first time I personally played paintball, it was back in the time when spiders were like the big thing, spider guns. And I still got it. I still have it.
My first paintball gun before I got an autococker.
I was just gonna say I still have my spider as well.
I'm about ready to join there's a community. I found out there's a community for spider owners. So I'm about ready to join it because I won't get rid of it. But back when I started playing, I remember that the cases of paint were like
60, 80 at a scenario. You could go 80 on a field pretty easily.
Yeah.
And before that, like my dad had Splat Masters, and you had to go to the surplus store to get oil-based paint by the 10-round tube. That was expensive.
Your field. So you're saying that there's no limit. So it's like, let's say if I have a die dam and I want to run, I don't know.
Do you want to run it with thermal? Go ahead. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah, we have all the top night players pretty much in the world come to my games. So good luck. I mean, it probably won't help you. That's how nasty the night players at Sherwood are. I mean, these are where all the best in the world have been for 20 years for playing at night anyway. I mean, it's just
night vision, thermal, white phosphorus.
And most of them don't even bother anymore. They had to all take it off to raise the difficulty.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I know the Night Stalkers are going to be coming up. They should be playing with the Mutants, and they're actually going to be opposed against most of the best night players that I know. So that it's going to be a good night game. It's going to be so good.
And when is
I got to play.
When is the date on this one?
October 8th through 10th, Sherwood, Forrest, Indiana. It's going to be a 2-day. Registration is $50 or $55. Round ball is pretty cheap. It's going to be Vulcan paint. It's all anybody ever bought anyway. It was graffiti. FSR is available. You have to order that, pre-order that because I know it's not going to be available if you just show up because of the limits. And then smoke. Bring all if you have 10 boxes of like shutter bombs or Enola Gays, bring that too.
Bring your own paint, or is it field paint, or
all these events are always field paint only.
Okay. The only reason why I ask is because that question is asked to me millions of times, even though we say it.
So on the one of the games I would recommend on the topic of content distribution, because that's what I focus on is getting what players are supposed to be doing to them and letting them do it. One of the most simple answers without having to use technology is the bring your own paint game called The Purge at Blast Camp, put on by Red Feather Paintball. And all they do is yell the missions over the loudspeaker because it's a relatively small field. It's an old decommissioned Nike missile silo base. And it's just like the Purge. You just hear the mission come over the loudspeaker. Everybody hears it at once and has to run to do it. And it creates a real herd mentality, but it sounds fun. And everybody I know liked it, so I'm going to try it one day.
Interesting concept.
It's a good one. Red Feather puts on good games. His games feel like have the detail and the heart of the old Texas scenario games that the Night Stalkers have really brought back and improved on recently. If you're traveling to Texas, play the Night Stalkers. Don't play anybody else. Play the Night Stalker games.
Well, we are. I know my team and I definitely considering going out there. I think my captain said Texas it is. I actually sent him a link to join. He may or may not. I'm not sure.
A bunch of the players that play our games will be are coming from the Midwest to play the Night Stalker game in January. We've got
what attendance?
At least 4 or 5.
Is there an attendance cap?
I don't know. Last year it was only 100 players. I know probably there's going to be at least 20 to 30 coming from the Midwest alone this year based on the word of mouth and the quality of their props.
Interesting. And
really good night play.
Wow. The only reason why I gotta jump back to you, but the only reason why you got me, because I know that when we open up for comments, a lot of my subscribers and myself included, they're MagFed players. We have speedballers and we have my league, which is running off of NXL rules, which is what you're pretty close to what you're running almost, the speedball.
Yeah, it's because it's the insurance standard,
right.
10.5.
So, I have my followers are going to be watching both, and but be prepared. Be prepared because the questions are going to come for you, and the questions are definitely going to come for you, Mark, because
you want to really stir up your users. We've been working with our insurance and lawyers so that we can run first strikes up even higher velocities, over 350, with minimum engagement ranges like they do in airsoft. So if you're a sniper, you can really snipe.
I was about to say, wait a minute. I mean, I could really snipe.
Yeah. Not only that, it's an MOS built into the game that your side has to go harvest resources and unlock and then upgrade you as a player. Then you bust out your sniper rifle. It's a whole whoop-de-doo.
Okay, I really do hope that a couple of my viewers are watching right now, because when I open it for comments, these guys are, wow.
Right, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
If we ever get paintball back into Blanding, it'll be because of my business partner Lawrence got us there. Because paintball got banned from the Blanding military on urban terrain site 10, 15 years ago because the greedy producer ran out of paint that's required to be used because it was gray, so it didn't stay in the buildings. And then when he ran out, he didn't want to lose money, so he brought in staining paint and then ruined the buildings and ruined it for everybody else and destroyed it for all of paintball. But if we ever get back in there, Lawrence will be the guy that gets us there. Because Airsoft is already in crazy places. They're at Guardian Center, which is the premier mount site in the world. They get so many good places to go that we can't go because of paint.
Yeah, same thing out here. They got some really nice places to go, indoor ranges that we would love to go to play at them, but can't because of the paint.
Yep. They use gray paint for that, so you wouldn't get thrown out. You could hose it off easily at the end, but you had to hire the local fire department to do it. It's just a logistics exercise, but it's completely possible.
And Mark, let me ask you, what about on your field, your Woodsball field? What's kind of events do they run over there at your field, in the Woodsball field, in the Woodsball section of your field?
Well, I mean, right now the field itself is it's not anything huge. So I mean, most of the time we're playing Woodsball. As far as there is a castle in the middle of the field, so we do a lot of scenarios, whether you got to get the bomb in the castle or CQB scenarios where you got to go in and sweep everybody out of it. And as far as the hyperball side of things, there's just a handful of us that run the hyperball side. As far as playing on that side, a lot of the guys are mostly Woodsball guys and MagFed and first strike rounds. And yeah, I mean, as far as scenarios go, that is the gentleman Tom that I was referring to earlier. He's the one that runs all the scenario stuff for the Woodsball. So it varies what he decides to do from day to day.
Well, perhaps maybe we can collaborate and figure out. Maybe we can get an event up there.
We were talking about running a big scenario game in the spring. We do. A few of us want to clean the field up, get some things fixed because it is an older field. So some repairs need to be done on the castle and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on right now. Like I said, the whole reason why we're running the 3v3, the 3v3 tournaments and stuff is so that we can bring in some revenue and make the fields better, so that when people do come and play, they have a good time. I mean, we have a fun time now, but it's always nice to have newer fields.
Well, I gotta say it. Forgive me for saying it, but I gotta say it. Magfeed. Magfeed. Remember that. Magfeed. Magfeed is the way to go. 90% of the time, I would say it's because I've seen firsthand both Speedball and Magfed playing. Speedball,
You've never shot my autococker though. My autococker was handmade by Bud Orr himself. If you shot it, you would be an autococker fan.
I don't know. I've shot a lot of different markers and.
I'm dabbling in First right now. I sent you the picture of what was built for me that I'm gonna be running next year.
There's this guy over, not this guy, but there's.
I ran MagFed for the longest time. I only had a TMC, but it's AR platform, so it's just like my M4.
Yeah.
I carry 10 magazines with me, and it's.
See, so some of the other crazy stuff we did was for MagFed was we worked on a holoscope. A guy had built it for airsoft. So if you wanted all your data that you got from the game of your phone, you just put it through your scope, and it was 3D printed and runs on Arduino. We have to get back to that project next year.
Interesting. What type of marker are you running? The autococker or?
Yeah, I run my autococker. It's 25, 26 years old at this point. I just had it back from restoration. It's amazing. It's perfect for all mech and standard scenario games. I have a CS2 grip, but not the rest of the gun after working with Planet Eclipse for the 1.5 update. Because what we asked for from them was we went to them and said, hey, I want it so that if somebody, like somebody's streaming and they pull the trigger of their CS2, I want it by Bluetooth to tell the app so that their avatar in the game starts shooting too. And
your app, would it work with the EVS display?
What happened with the EVS is Empire broke the EVS. So the EVS was made by Intel, it was made by Recon Instruments, who got sold to Intel, and Intel spiked everything. They took all the products off the market. They took all the software development kits off the market. So if you have an Empire EVS and you take it and flash it back to its original firmware that was made for snowboarding, not paintball. Because when Empire or GI had the firmware for paintball written, they took out what are called app notifications. So everything that when your phone buzzes at you and you get all those notifications of the different app shit that's happening, and ads and crap like that, with our apps, you can use that to send to a smartwatch or smart glasses, or the Empire EVS HUD when it's in its snowboard firmware app notifications. So everything that happens flashes to your wrist or your eye, and you can play the game and get all the information in your goggle. Because what we've really set up for is we use a lot of look-through augmented reality technology. So if you have a game prop and you look at it through camera mode, it's going to recognize the prop, and then it's going to have holograms appear, and you interact with those holograms. So if you had just a cardboard box with some stickers on it, we can turn that into a very sophisticated interactive prop that anybody in the game can use. And it's just a piece of cardboard, so if it's destroyed, you throw it out and get a new one. So anybody can produce really high-level experiences for pennies. Is what
and what would be the subscription?
We don't even have a subscription.
No?
Not right now. We're still producing the tech demos to finish out our platform because all of our events are basically a Kickstarter. Everything we make goes right back into the software and the assets we use. Because what we're really waiting on is smart glasses to hit the market. So smart glasses are the AR glasses that you pop on and you get all the 3D through them. So if you were playing a World War II game and you're wearing your smart glasses, you can see a bomber stream fly overhead, or make a vehicle that just looks like a golf cart actually look like a Panzer tank. Or as the technology progresses, make the other team skin them over as Germans while you're playing allies. And we're positioned for that. We can work with all of the stuff like HoloLens and Magic Leap glasses, and we work with them now. but there's just too expensive for paintball. We're at about a $700-800 price point for glasses. We figure it can hit mainstream paintball once it gets down to 150 to 200.
Yeah, I would say probably. Well, no, possibly. You're absolutely right. Possibly because
That's the future of outdoor gaming. It's what all the big companies are throwing their billions of dollars after. Facebook, Microsoft, you name it. We just use a good game engine that's compatible with all their stuff right now. So as soon as there is glasses that people are wearing, we'll start doing the 3D games for people. I mean, we're just waiting on it.
let's see. I got some comments coming in now. We got Daniel Rango coming in. He goes, "Nice. I love the Texas." Also saying night vision right up my alley. Generation Flip, that's my brother. Checking sorry. Checking in. Let's see, Brent Wagner. We also run Zombie Game, Protect the President, and Mario Ball. I'm very interested in knowing Zombie Game. How would you run Zombie Game with utilizing as in an open class? Let's say, for example, you would run Zombie on a Halloween, like Splatterween or something similar to like those events.
Well, I know at Tanks Paintball, when they do a zombie hunt, they drive them through on like a tractor-driven trailer, and they shoot the piss out of the referees with jelly ball and stuff. They armor up the referees and just send them out there as suckers and hose them down.
Interesting. I'm actually going to be joining.
Sells the zombie suit now, so you can get super padded up and go do that role because so many fields do it now.
Well, yeah,
it's the referees that catch it.
Yeah,
you wear enough pads, you can just get shot forever and be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm about to ready to go jump into my first, join my first Halloween event. So I'm kind of nervous about it because obviously you're gonna go in costume.
All of our games are at our games that have themes. We heavily encourage costumes. At our pirate game, 50% of the game is in costume. 50% of the players.
Well, think about it. When you MagFed, 100% of MagFed, you're in costume anyway.
Well, until I show up, because I'm going to be in t-shirt and shorts. It's hot here.
Oh, well, no, we have this. I've seen some pretty crazy things. We have one potential guest coming on the show.
Like I'll MagFed in Crocs. I don't care. I'll put them in sport mode, and we're going to get it.
Oh no, we got. I know a player. His name is Rocket. He plays in Crocs. Believe me, he plays MagFed in Crocs. Dude, how can you play in Crocs? He'll play in Crocs. He don't care.
Comfortable and they drain.
Yeah, I'm about to attend my first ever Halloween theme game, and I'm nervous because I'm not gonna go dressed up, in full BDUs. I'm gonna go dressed up in Moneyball, the heist.
A creepy Halloween scenario game in my first night game ever, and crawling out there at Brazos is why I'm still here. It's why we're on this podcast now. It's worth it. It's great.
And
Halloween game is my favorite. Actually, my 13-year-old, his very first game he ever played was a Halloween game. He's been addicted ever since.
Mm-hmm.
You guys at your field ever gonna plan any Halloween games coming up?
They do Halloween games. They also do turkey shoot for Thanksgiving. Like I said, I've only been playing on this field for a couple months now. I wish the other guys got on. They all had stuff to do, so unfortunately, that's why I said you can call me co-captain. But yeah, there's actually 4 of us that are running the whole thing, and the other guys have been playing on the field for a long time, so they know it a lot better than me. But yeah, they do turkey games and Halloween games, and actually Brent Wagner, which was the one that was just talking, the zombie game and whatever else it was that he listed. He's one of the co-captains of the team as well.
Well, when you guys are running games out there, you guys, what do you focus more on? What particular format do you guys run on?
Are you talking about like Woods Ball compared to Hyperball?
Mm-hmm. Or do you run a combination of both during a normal day of play?
It's usually a combination of both, but it is definitely more Woods Ball based at this point in time because there's a whole lot more Woods Ball players than there are Speedball players there. There's a lot of guys that like to play MagFed, and like I said, myself included until recently when I got rid of all my MagFed stuff and got back into the more Speedball style of gameplay now.
Well, MagFit is a pretty good. How can I say? It's a looking at it from both angles as a player and as when you run events. It's a really good filler as far as on a schedule for a business goes, but it's a really good way to bring everybody together. Who plays paintball for the love of the sport, and you can. The nice thing about it is you can run it 24 hours. You can run it, as you can hear, 26 hours. You can run it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including the winter time. And speedballer, you can't really play speedball that well in the winter.
It's such two wildly different experiences, but they're both great.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm a
so
weird
much
hobbyist.
snow out this way. It's hard to play in the winter, anyways, unless you want to be chest deep in snow.
I try to do everything. I'm okay that if some friends are like, "Hey, we need to come play in a tournament," like my knees say I have to play back and I'm gonna suck, but I can show up. But my first love scenario games, but I don't even care how LARPy it gets. If we're gonna ditch the paintball guns or we're gonna beat each other with LARP weapons, I'm okay with that too. I don't care.
Well, what I'm going to do is later on in or after the show, I'm going to do is I want to put you in touch, Mark, with two individuals. One, his name is Bishop Saint. He runs a league out here called Grind Brothers. Now he runs open class events, speedball events, and those type of scenarios. He's also crossing over into MagFed, so he's actually a really good go-to if you want to collaborate and bring more attention to the field and run events and so forth. And the other one as well, these are just my two personal recommendations, and I'm sure that there's going to be more. I'm sure Alan's going to have some as well. The other one is Isaac Rodriguez from the UMFL. Now the UMFL is a league that it's just MagFed. So what I'm going to try to do is, if that's okay with you, is introduce you to them so that you have a combination of both MagFed and speedball, readily available to you to run multiple events and collaborate.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
I'll definitely, Bishop, I see Bishop checked in on Facebook. If you could make sure to reach out to this individual, Mark, reach out to him. If not, I'll make sure I have his contact information in the chat. At the end of the cast on the link, you'll be able to communicate with them, as well as you too, Isaac. If anybody's watching, or if anybody gets a hold of Isaac, let him know. And the same thing with you, Bishop. I see you're watching. Reach out to this individual. There's another.
I can definitely say 100% confidence with the other captains in mind that we'll take all the help we can get. That is for sure. All the input we can get, more than happy.
What kind of restrictions are there? Any restrictions at your field? Some fields, for example, don't run first strike. Other fields say yes. Some fields you could run pyros.
Right now they do run first strike. That's the touchy subject between it. Between some of the guys and the guys that actually run first strike.
I'm gonna say it. Lacerations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's my take on first strike. It's just like, people that play in the back didn't know what it was like to get bunkered. But first strikes don't lose their energy, so it's like you get bunkered every time. And that's why people are so hurt feelings about it. Sorry, guys, that's what it was like when somebody bunkers you. It's always been that way, and it's never been fun. No. And you bleed even if it's
the way I look at it is, if you're going out there, just expect to get hit, and it's not, it's going to sting every once in a while, so you should be expecting it.
Yeah, well... like I said, the guys are more than likely gonna reach out. They're gonna ask you the same question they just asked you in regards to first strikes. That seems to be the big thing. Myself, I'm a sniper, paintball sniper. I'm a sniper, and I have first strikes even on the keychain in my car. It's not like a real Full Metal Jacket, but it's the next best thing for me. And and a lot of guys seem to enjoy it for accuracy. They get that marksmanship shot, because I think paintball you can spray with a gun, but when you actually feel kind of good when you get that shot and you line them up in the crosshair and
you got the guys that like to place around where they want it to be, and then you got the guys that like accuracy by volume, and it's just the way it goes.
Yes, sir. So these two guys will bring, will help you, with regards to that if you're interested. So, keep an eye out for them. They will hit you up. And I know this app. I'm still stuck on this app, and I still want to know more about this Sherwood Forrest. I really do.
Many apps.
Many apps. I'm sorry, many apps. And I still want to know more about this Sherwood Forrest because, like I said, I have not I, but my team, New York Savage Beast. They have a chapter out there called the Texas Savage Beast, and like I said, they're throughout. I think Dallas, Houston.
Yeah, I watched the last episode. Somebody had talked about playing Black Hawk Down. Now, I had actually generaled at the field Black Hawk Down is done at before Black Hawk Down became an event 20 years ago. So I know where your guys are at and where they're playing at, and I will be seeing them soon. They'll see my slow ass one way or the other.
Yeah, actually, we just came back from the Black Hawk Down game.
Which one? The one at Liberty?
Yep.
Yeah, I was. As a matter of fact, I was up there. I had my sniper rifle. I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing on the field. I was off the field promoting unrelated
Black Hawk Downs.
Unrelated
Black
event.
Hawk Down in Texas is at Official Paintball of Texas or something like that.
We actually
been here for 20 years.
We had one. My team had one back in January in the dead of winter. At in Connecticut, in Coventry, in Matt's Outback, and it was cold, but it was actually pretty cool because he had collaborated so that we made these. He used these prop vans and he converted them into Black Hawk helicopters.
I like that.
So he had them stationed throughout the field on a mini DMZ. There was a bridge and then the helicopters and then a building, two-story building on each side, opposing each side, seeing each other. It was really, really cool. Really, really cool. And I mean, that was our first event that we threw, and it was. And I'm looking to, we've gone to many more with Bones and Ashes and so forth. But another event like that with props like that, I'm dying to see. I think they had one at Liberty not too long ago, the one we were just talking about.
You have to come to Texas and play with your boys here at Texas Paintball in January. Because they have multiple helicopter fuselages. There's a couple I can't describe. If I were to make a top 5 of fields in America, this is in the top 2 or 3. I mean, I've never seen shit like this in 23, 24 years of paintball. I've never seen anything like it. It's that good. It's even the bathrooms off field, flushing toilets, completely tiled and marble bathrooms. It's like a resort it's a resort with a paintball field almost. It's, goddamn, it's good. So fun. It's like, wow.
Let's see, we got Brent Wagner again coming in with PRZ in Canada is the best Black Hawk Down that I have played in at PRZ, huh?
We will be at PRZ. Our software will be through Millionth Monkey Scenarios, I believe, doing a Western game based on Red Dead Redemption called Redemption.
In Canada.
In Canada. And kind of the essence of that game is it's a scenario game, but you're not divided into 2 big sides. You're divided into a lot of rival gangs. So you don't have to recruit 100 people to come play with you. You just go get you and your boys, throw your bandanas on, and you're a gang. Go take some territory, make your money, rob the other gangs. Because we do have that in our games. We have virtual looting and a bunch of other weird features.
Interesting. Intel Pook came in and says MagFed is all about the realism factor. At least it is for him. I have to tend to agree with him about that little comment there. I mean, I've trained in the military. I've been in the military. I've played paintball. And when I play and I crossed over into MagFed, it felt somewhat
a lot more real than using a hopper.
Yeah. The whole action of actually reaching in, hitting your release, reloading a mag. But a lot of guys, they told me the same thing, and I still do it to this day. When I grab a mag and I tap it and I put it in, it's like, dude, why are you doing that? I'm like, I'm sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I agree. It's more about realism. What? He's Intel says he's in the naval. That's right. Naval.
When you take a software based approach to the game, it's like having a battalion S3 in your phone.
Let's see. Ed Joya commenting on Facebook. He says that's why most people play airsoft for the realism.
He was
Yeah.
flying around strapped to a little bird. Seen videos of it. Guys strafing an armored column strapped to a little bird at a mount facility, and you're not going to get to do that in paintball. I'm sorry. I wish we could.
I mean,
wish we could.
the closest I've seen is actually.
It's a good enough reason to have an FSR mag-fed gun, your mech gun, and then also have an airsoft gun that's HPA. I mean, have it all if you want to play the highest end games.
You want to play the highest end games, yeah. I was about to say.
I'm not against cross gaming. I don't think any particular hobby is much greater than the other. I like to play all of it. And I'm in that same for different experiences to everything. I know the experience I'm going to get if I show up at an airball tournament, and if I want to get into something deeply milsim, I'm going to go play MagFed or I'm going to go play airsoft.
Well,
I 100% agree.
I was to say
That's been my beef with paintball production for a long time, is that all the major paintball producers are trying to get everybody into one game instead of making these narrowly tailored experiences to enthusiasts. And I'm about that enthusiast experience more than I am about trying to cram as many people as I can onto a field. Like Sherwood, this game's capped at, normally we cap it at 300. We will expand at most to 400 because once you go over 5 per acre, it doesn't make for a good scenario game anymore, and we're just not going to have it.
Well, yeah, a lot of variables come into play.
At the venues we mostly do, it's going to be 5 per acre. You can increase density on mount facilities, but for the most woods ball fields, we find 5 per acre is really our sweet spot.
You got me intrigued. Let's see. I prefer paintball. Intel coming back again. I prefer paintball over airsoft because it's harder to cheat. I've seen a lot of arguments with airsoft, which is true.
Airsoft only stings. You don't get that blunt trauma you get when a first strike cracks off your dome.
Yeah,
there's no punishment, real bad punishment for screwing up. It's a better hobby that way.
Let's see here. Everybody that was on the red team and blue team say that the paint. Oh, see, now they're talking about the quality and conditions of paint. With regards to
man, if you've been in paintball for 25 years, 50% of the events have complaints about paint. And you know what? The same people complaining about paint go right back to the next event shooting the same brand of paint, and we'll shoot whatever the producer's going to buy. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, that's the other thing.
Paint quality does suck. It's gotten thicker. It's gotten harder. If you're living past the era of like Ultra Evil, you're shooting crappy paint. Ultra Evil stained jerseys and had this weird fragment pattern. It was amazing. And after that, it's all been downhill.
I think the worst. If I don't go to an event if they have GI Sports, I don't go. I can't. I just. It costs me more money to repair my marker after the event than it would cost. Yeah, it's just can't do it.
They have the patent on that. We did the research on that a while back.
Let's see here. Ed Hoya coming in on YouTube. It's my only problem with airsoft. The cheaters now, keep in mind it's been years since I played, but when I did I saw a cheater, not calling outs and stupid fights.
So the way you fix cheaters in airsoft is the same way you fix cheaters in paintball. And this is going to sound kind of savage, but this is kind of... See, that's what I'm talking about. You run up with a speed soft gun and you bunker this fool in the neck, and then in the cranium right here, you shoot over his mask into his temple, and he's going to knock that shit off real quick if he's still awake.
If he's still awake.
Yep.
Punish cheaters horribly.
One way or the other, they'll learn.
Not only that, in our scenario games, if you cheat, we're real Marine Corps about it. We don't punish you specifically. We punish you by kicking you off the field, but we penalize on points your entire side, and we put your name on the loser board of cheaters, so everybody knows who did it.
You know, that would have been great to do at a anyway.
That's how we roll. We don't have judge punch problems. As far as the app users at our game, I want to say 30 to 50% of our players use the game app, and nobody in that group has ever gotten a penalty. It's only the people that show up and don't give a fuck that get penalties. But we're in a fortunate place where most of our players care, and I really appreciate that of them.
Let's see. Here we got James coming in with on YouTube with a comment. The field that Lashes is pretty huge, but we only use a small field with castle for a small group. Can you?
That's fairly normal.
Yeah, the Woods ball field is pretty large.
Yeah, I've never played over there. I've never played there. This is the first time actually hearing about it. I'm gonna have to put it on my list of fields to go visit. Let's see. We got Ed Hoya coming in again on YouTube. Yeah, same thing. GI Sports sucks.
Yeah, nobody wants flower field paint.
No.
If you want a long, go to Ronin Kinetic if you get really bored and you need a 2-hour breakdown of their bankruptcy because we went through all the paperwork.
Really?
Yeah, we're nerds.
Wow.
If you want the too long didn't read, Richmond Italia, the owner of GI, doesn't care about paintball and would rather look at growth industries, which is weed. And he's in the Remington lawsuits because he bought Remington. But mainly they went into the legal weed business in Canada. So half the things that were encapsulating paint now encapsulate CBD and THC products.
Okay, that went on the
actual CBD oil.
he kind of went the other way with it. Okay.
Yeah, paintball hasn't really been growing, unfortunately.
Let's see.
It had a banner year with COVID once everybody got let back out of their house and needed socially distanced hobbies. A lot of people went out and picked up their mech guns, and Reynolds seemed to be doing great.
Well, hold that thought 1 second. Woodball field at Lashes is over 5 acres, and Intel wants to know, he's got family in Fort Hood. I guess this is directed towards you, Alan. He's got family in Fort Hood. What's a good field to play there? What's a good field to play over there?
Fort Hood. Remind me what city that is, because I can't remember off the top of my head. San Antonio, I thought was Hood.
I think that's either San Antonio or Houston.
Yeah, if it's out of San Antonio, drive to Austin and play at Texas Paintball. There's no forts in Houston. It's definitely not Houston. There's like forts in Houston, but mostly National Guard bases here. Everything military is in San Antonio. Including most of the Air Force bases. As an aside, all of this technology that I brought to paintball, I also do in the air show industry. I'm a member of the International Council of Air Shows, so we make like video games and shit for the air show for kids to play.
Whoa. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a show.
Back on this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you back on this show.
I'll bring my boy Lawrence with me. He's a savage. You'll like him.
And actually dedicate the entire show, because how would the community get a hold of the apps or the stuff that the technology you offer for the fields?
You got to go to Ronin Kinetic on the Facebook. Generally, field owners can't wrap their brain around it, so we're more of a niche for event producers. So if Mark needs a scenario game, he needs a complete turnkey scenario game. The players can play. They can just show up and go on there up to 5,000 players, and he needs it in 24 hours. I got him. I'll make some database entries, and the game is ready to play tomorrow.
Now,
that's kind of where we're at.
What about if a local producer out here, say for myself or the league, or another individual, North Carolina, South Carolina, whomever, they reach out to you, would you be able to format technology based for the event itself?
Well, next year I'm going to drop what's called Scenario Engine. So that is kind of my catch-all to anybody who wants to produce a game uses that app to produce the game that they want to produce. Our other game apps are really tailor-made to our tech demonstrations events, which were to make sure all this shit really worked before we try to unleash it on the paintball world. All
right. Well, I definitely want to get you back on the show on a different day. Guys, we're coming to the end of the cast. We have a little bit less than about 7 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up to questions. Anybody who has questions, either in YouTube, Twitch, Discord, Facebook, by all means, ask away. We have Mark and Alan both here. Both have really good, if you see, different sides of the spectrum. Both MagFed related, but paintball related as well. But on different.
I can hit my MagFed bump. If you want to use the technology in person, Go to the Texas Night Stalker game, Texas Paintball, January, part of the Texas Revolution series. I'm sponsoring both sides with force tracking. A lot like ATAC, kind of similar to Strike Ring, but quite a bit different in the approach we take and the technologies we use. Because they say, like, we have secret military algorithms, but that can't be true because it's on Google Play, and you couldn't do that. You would get arrested. So the best in commercial technology. Otherwise, you have to come play one of the events. Come see us in October 8th, 9th, and 10th. We'll be at Sherwood, Forrest. There's going to be at least 18 hours of play. It's priced under any other game you're going to go to. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's very competitive. If you want to come play competitively at a scenario game and never have anybody get mad at you for it, this is where you come. There's nowhere else to go to do that. That's about all I got. If you need us, just hit us up. Follow us on Facebook, Ronin Kinetic Esports. That's it.
And just make sure to send me the link as well, so I can put it up and put it up on, put the link up so that the rest of the community. I am tripping over my words today. So that the rest of the community can follow up and reach out to you if they have any questions. And Mr. Mark, by all means, it's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just the tournament one more time, October 2nd. Come down, meet the guys, have a fun day out. Yeah, I don't really have much.
What is the price of admission again?
To register a team with 3 players and 1 sub is $150.
And how do I do that? If I wanted to do that, you have the link? Can you have the power, or
I will send you the link so you can set it up. But you can either go to lasheslunatics@gmail.com on PayPal and pay through there, or you can pay day of at the field. Check-ins at 9 o'clock. The game should start around 10. And yeah, hope to see everybody down there and come out for a fun day.
Awesome. And with that being said, guys, I have to also plug in an event. We have an event coming up this Sunday at Cousins in Manchester, New Jersey. The United MagFed League. It's out first. It's called MagFed Fury. Come on down. We'll have food, vendors. For those of you that's already pre-registered, thank you, and we'll see you at the game. And those of you who haven't pre-registered, the link will be up here. Just click the link, pre-register. It'd be nice for you guys to come out and show the love. One other thing I want to touch is I wanted to personally thank each and every one of you, today's panel, the community as a whole, for supporting the cast. And this is the only way that this grows, in my definition, is by promoting one another, bringing other teams, other developers, other promoters, other ideas. It's the only way to keep paintball growing in a positive direction. Because if we don't, it will eventually die out.
Go away. And squeeze it in there. Shout out to Justin Schaefer at MagFed Society. They have been sharing our stuff to the MagFed community from the beginning. Some of our earliest supporters came from MagFed.
Oh yes, I know Justin Schaefer, EJ Ramirez.
He's highly influential on how we lay out our rules with icons and art. It's good stuff. They're ahead of the curve. They're way ahead of the curve. If you play MagFed Society.
Yep. They have events coming up. We have, like I said, we had last week or this week, one episode prior, before we had Titan Adam Lang, the original MagFed interns.
Make sure you send them your because we're popular with the interns. Make sure you send them your games to get posted.
Definitely.
We're the only non-MagFed events they post, if that tells you anything.
It tells me a lot. All right, guys. With that being said, Mark, Alan, thank you so much. And the rest of you guys, keep in mind to click like, subscribe, hit that little bell tone. Generation MagFed is on Monday and Fridays. Monday's topic night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Fridays, 8 o'clock, 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. As you can see, it's open format, open mic. We talk about anything and everything paintball. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for being on the panel tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Just remember to, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Catch you guys on the next time. Stand by 1 second.